come up. We were able to adjust our session due to no contact and the things that came through, or the requirements that came through yesterday. For us, it's a short week, so we're not missing the contact as much. When we get to longer weeks, we'll work out exactly how we do that. But we're able to get a lot of touch in. The boys were top of the ground, and prepped up for a game on Friday night that we're really looking forward to.
Can we deal with the before we get back onto the game? Can we deal with Heredia's comments today?
Yep.
With the feed story, quoting Brent Capper and Chris Dawes.
Yep.
I think there's two questions I think people would like. There's two questions that people would like to know, and I don't know if you're in a position to talk about it. One is, you've been accused of saying that you said to Harry you threw the president under the bus. Is that a correct statement? Do you remember saying that? Do you deny saying that?
What's the other question?
Other question is, you've said previously that you didn't hear the word chimp, and now we've got two players saying yes, it was quite frequent and quite common around the football club. Do you still stand by not knowing or hearing that word?
Yeah. Robbo, clearly something that the club is in the process of addressing, and our integrity committee, led by Peter Murphy and obviously with Jody Sizer and Mark Anderson playing an important role, is in the process of addressing Heritia's truth. And the way that we've discussed it is in discovering or truth telling and understanding Heritia's truth. I can say from my perspective that I've learnt things today, last week, 2 weeks ago that I was not aware of from Heritia's perspective. In regards to the nickname, the only mouth I've heard that nickname out of was Heritia's himself when he told me about it. That's categoric. And I suppose that's me telling my truth. But there are obviously a lot of details that needs to be unearthed and shared and spoken about with an open mind and an open heart, so that we can address this situation. We can address Heritia's experience, not to sweep it under the carpet and not to necessarily just to resolve it, but to learn from it and hopefully to be better from it. And that's why the club has undertaken its process.
How important, Buck, is the investigation by your integrity department?
I think it's crucial. It's obviously something that will take place, and obviously some of this stuff has some of the truths of some have been shared publicly, but it's our job as a football club to listen to our people, to learn from our people, and to respect and value our people. So if that hasn't occurred, that is why this process is critically important, because everyone that comes into this place is critically important to us, and it needs to be an environment that respects all.
Last one before we get back to the footy, unless someone else wants to ask a question about it. Were you surprised by Chris's comments this morning, and were you surprised when you first read of Brent McCaffrey's comments about everyone at the football club would have known about the chimp comment?
I think we, as I said, whilst we're truth-telling, we're trying to gather everyone's perspectives, and these perspectives are new perspectives. It's new information for the football club, and the Integrity Committee have decided and are committed to finding out what that truth was for all of our individuals. So they'll be speaking to everyone that they can to have an understanding of exactly what the circumstances were and what we can learn from them. Yeah.
Now said that he won't take part in this investigation, sub-investigation. You again reiterating to him that's what you want him to be a part of this as well, to actually try and be a part of it.
Well, it's every person's prerogative to share and to be involved as they see fit. That really, the club's position is really clear. We will be going, in a really thorough manner to, as I said, to learn and to improve and to be better for our people from this.
Do you feel there's a lot of pressure coming on you, Nathan, or a lot of spotlight coming on you?
No, not necessarily, mate. I clearly my character is being questioned in terms of race, and I know where I stand in that regard. But no, we will do this the right way, and we'll do it with the right people, and we'll do it with integrity, and that won't be in a public forum in the short term. Thanks.
Any ways of fly to visit Harry rather than inviting, Heredia to come here? Have you considered at some stage? I know that's a really big ask with your family and your life here to go and seek out Heredia in I don't know where he's living, in America somewhere, isn't he? Have you thought about that?
Thanks for your questions, Robbo. I really got to leave it there because we're following this process. I consider myself to be pretty open and transparent. I'm prepared to share a lot of my thoughts. But the reality is that the club of themselves in a statement said that we weren't going to make any more comment, and I've just made a few. But I think that for the integrity of the integrity committee, I need to let them go.
Can I ask you one more last time?
You can.
Why should we be confident that the process of the committee and the investigation will come up with something that actually comes to either a resolution or conclusion?
Well, your level of confidence it will only be based on the information that's transferred when it's all done and dusted, mate. And as I said, we're not about sweeping anything under the carpet here. We want to learn about it, and we want the truth to be told because that's the basis of the investigation.
Do I ask you a footy question?
Yeah, mate.
Everyone done?
Yep.
You've been obviously starting off like a bang, round 2 and 3, and then probably on the scoreboard fading out. Is that a reflection of, or what do you think behind that? Is the way the game's been played, or?
We've had a focus on fast starting. There's no doubt that that we want to get out of the blocks, and that might be after the first bounce. It might be after a stoppage sort of 12 minutes into the first quarter. It might be at the start of the third quarter. You've got plenty of opportunities to really jump into a game. So that has been something that we've really been keen to do, and I think that with the shortened games, it's really important to get off to a good start. But it's all three of our first quarters have been pretty positive at this point, and we'd like to finish the games off just as well. It's that's the next challenge.
How pleased are you with the backline, Bucks? Keeping all three teams under 37 points has been a phenomenal effort. I know we've got short game time, but history-wise, not many teams have done that over 3 consecutive weeks.
Yeah, there's probably a little bit of a myth around defence that it's all about 6 or 7, and a myth about offence where it's all about the forward line. But the reality is, it takes the whole team to be able to defend the ground or defend scores in that manner. I'm not taking anything away from our backs because they've been in great nick, but if there's no pressure on the ball, it makes it pretty hard to defend an even-numbered contest, or to break down a sort of clean midfield movement from the opposition. So I think our forwards and mids have played their role really well. And as I said, on the flip side, our backs have generally been giving us a lot of rebound off the back half to help with our offence as well.
Last 3 years, perhaps your points against have been 89, which you dropped down to 76. Last year, you dropped down to 71. So there's been absolutely, sustainable growth in that part of your game. I'm sure you're going to say, yeah, there's always room to improve with your overall defensive team effort. But is this as good as next coach for Collingwood?
Defensively?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fact that this is something that we've been working on for quite a while, and our defensive capacity has been a hallmark of our last couple of years in particular. I know our offence was focused on and what was seen as run and carry and dare in 18. And apparently we were a little more dour last year, but we were only a goal worse as a scoring team on average. But look, we want to play a really balanced game style. We want to be really damaging with the ball in hand, and we want to be really hard to score against the other way. We're in pretty good nick at the moment. The numbers are going to be skewed because of the game time that we're facing in 2020, and they might not be able to be compared directly with previous seasons. But for what it's worth, in a very small sample size, we're really happy with the way we're defending and the difficulty that teams have both in moving the ball and scoring against us. The stoppages are going to be crucial with GWS. I mean, they're a talented side, but they've actually got a lot of grunt. They like to get their hands dirty in contests as well. So we understand that's always going to be an important element to be able to impose yourself in a contest. But against GWS in particular, they're a very strong contested ball side. Leon Cameron put it on the record after their game against the Dogs that they haven't won a contested ball count this year, so we fully expect that to be part of their preparation against us. And in any contest you must be good in that area if you want to be able to set yourself up in the other phases. I'm not going to do selection today, Alicia, but we've got a really good squad. What I will say is that we've been able to reward the guys that have had really significant work through that break, and we're able to do match practice in those early stages. And we've found a few. It's been good already in those 3 games to debut Tyler in round 1. And then for Darcy to play his first game for us in round 2. Obviously, Rupert Wills played his first game for us in round 3 for the year. So we're definitely finding out a bit more about some of our players, and we'll just continue to pick who we think's the best mix coming up against each opposition, understanding that we will need to share the load as the season progresses. Yeah, Ads is moving really well. I played really well last week, and has put in a fair bit of work. He always seems to come to hand really quickly, Ads, and he's always literally banging the door down. He's in my office quite regularly, and we'll be able to talk to him this afternoon about what his immediate future looks like.
But there's always a danger looking in the rear view mirror. But how much of what happened last preliminary final day still sits in the core of some core players?
You'd have to be going the deep dark recesses, Glennie, I would have thought. I mean, it's there, but it's not relevant. It's not relevant to this weekend in any shape or form. I personally don't see any real motivation from it. That game was run and won, and they deserved their victory. This is a new season. I mean, it feels like it's nearly a year ago. So we'll just get to work now in round 4. No, he obviously started. You're talking about starting with a bang. He kicked a couple of goals and jumped into the game really early for us. And we do believe that that his mixture of speed and talent puts pressure on and can hit the scoreboard. It definitely throws something different at the defences. So I thought it was a good introduction for him. He'd like to have more impact across the full 4 quarters, but that'll come, I'm sure. Huffing, puffing.
Can I do this discussion about a lot's been made of the emotion of football this year, the ability of the dogs to get up, the ability of the Hawks to get up, but Carl at Geelong last week, I don't know if it's a great way to on emotions and the highs and lows every second week. The maturity of football, it seems like the way they're going about how. Can you talk philosophically about the emotional highs and lows and already this season? What do you expect for the remainder of the season?
Can we talk about your 3G Wi-Fi, mate? You go from slow talking to fast talking. I'm just trying to keep up here. I got the drift. Like emotion plays a massive part in I suppose in team camaraderie and in physical output. There's no doubt about it, and we know that anxiety around circumstances can impact your full physical capacity coming to the fore. So I've got no doubt that is a reality of everyone in the community, but for football organisations and for us, we need to be attentive that there probably are going to be ups and downs at times. So it's finding the light and shade. It's enjoying your experiences at training, being grateful for your opportunities to play, and generally seeing a positive aspect to attack, which generally looks after your emotions. You've got to find a purpose and a reason for why that absolute effort is important. So I think our challenge, the coaching challenge, is always to find that. And it's probably been as great a challenge in the last, say, 3 or 4 weeks as it ever has been, to be honest. They're pretty exceptional circumstances. But it doesn't just come from the senior coach, the leaders. It comes from each of your individuals. Even your youngest players that have only been here for 5 minutes can add a little bit of energy and spark, especially in training sessions. So we're looking for reasons why and purposes as often as we possibly can, and we do know that is an important part of being able to find your best form on a weekend.
Just from an emotional point of view, Bucks, what was your reaction to the whole Conor McKenna, positives, negatives, all over the shop?
Yeah, like you, Pete, I'm just a somewhat neutral observer and interested onlooker as to how that played out. Clearly it's had ramifications for our environment in the next month at least, and we've made adjustments and shifts to that because our stringent protocols and attention to detail have been pretty good. We've been really proud of the way that our players and our staff have adjusted. The testing itself probably asks a bit of a question. I mean, that's not so much for the AFL to answer, the government themselves. and there's a bigger picture to that. But in the end, like in the game of footy, the rules are handed down, the postulates are reached, and you play within the framework, and we're in that situations now. We'll do what we're told for the health and well-being of our immediate staff and players, and obviously for the general community's health as well. And we just feel very grateful that we're able to get out there, mate.
Just a quick footy specific one, Nathan. Why is that Wayne so much hyper in his first year and his position to the side? I know it was imagined the season restart in May, sort of played a bit more defence last week. Can you just update where Isaac might be at and he's taking longer to come on with the hope?
Yeah, no, Isaac's. Yeah, I mean, I think let's take a deep breath. I mean, he's a second-year player who happens to be on a list with a team that's performed pretty well, been a top four side the last couple of years. So the opportunities and spots, at times can dry up. Isaac's developing really well. We love his attitude. His athleticism and physicality is continuing to improve. He came in with unique strengths in that regard, and he's just making them stronger. He's a beast. We know we think we've got him in the right role, and he's taking steps gradually to improve his football, and with the understanding that at some stage he understands that he will have the chance to make his mark on our performances in 2020. Last one, guys.
Can I ask one last question, Bucks? I'm sorry to go back.
All good, mate.
I saw your tweet to the market allegiance, which is really, really powerful and really strong. I don't know if you watched it on Fox last night, and how powerful and strong that is. And 20 minutes ago, you spoke about your character. Does it make you angry or frustrated? Well, what's the overwhelming when looking at your character right now, when with some of your public comments in the last couple of years on racism and other issues in sport and society? How do you feel that people may be questioning your character?
It'd be so easy to let that one go through to the keeper, Robbo. I think the way we view ourselves is very important to us. I'm pretty sure the way you view yourself is important to you. Ben Amafio is a great mate of mine, and there were things that he shared in that story that I wasn't privy to. And I just, as I said, I love his unbounding care, passion and empathy for people. He's an amazing man. And so my tweet was in response to that. I think you just have to stay open-minded and open-hearted. There's no such thing as a perfect person out there, and I'm definitely not. But I am really open-minded, and I know that I can. I'm always wanting to learn and wanting to listen and wanting to improve for myself, for my family, and for my friends and the people that I represent. So I know that's a really solid character trait of mine, and it's one that I'm pretty proud of.